Thank you guys for all jumping in today. We are really excited to show you what we've been working on in regards to the new web home screen dashboard experience. Anybody who does not know me, my name is Kim. I am one of the training and onboarding specialists here at Map My Customers. Also joined with me today, we have Rachel Foley and Michelle Irving. Rachel, some of you might know as well. She is from the product side of things. She leads product design. So please, as we're going through today, give us your feedback, drop it into the chat, ask questions, let us know what you like, what you still want to see coming. All of that is super helpful. From a interaction perspective, there is going to be a Q&A section down at the bottom of your Zoom. There is also a chat section that you'd be able to chat into. No worries, you won't actually be able to unmute yourself in chat. We'll unmute people at the end, but to make sure things are moving along, we will monitor the chat, answer chats in there, and also feel free to drop things into Q&A. Also on the call is Michelle Irving. She is the head of our customer success team. So some of you guys have maybe met her as well. But we will all be here monitoring the chat, answering questions as we go through today. So throw it all at us. And we are excited, like I said, to get this in front of you guys. What we're going to walk through today is the new web application dashboard and home screen experience. So when you log into the home screen on the web version currently, there's always been some limitations in how customizable it was, limitations in how valuable people found some of the reports, and also just there were some reports that were a little bit nested into other areas of the application that people really wanted to see front and center. So we're going to walk through all of the changes that will be happening here. Again, we'll send out the recording, probably not end of today. We'll take some time. We got to, cut out some funniness and get it all squared away, but we will get that to you guys by the end of the week. This experience is not yet live. What I'm showing you guys today is in an internal test environment. We are shooting to get this out as soon as possible, but if you log in right now, you are not going to see what I am seeing. So I will share my screen and you can just follow along with me. I'm going to start this out from a rep experience. I know we've got some people on the call today who are kind of team member end users of the application, and you might spend most of your time on mobile, but want you to get familiarized with what is here. And then we will flip over to a kind of administrative view, similar to the managerial view, and how you might customize in other areas of these dashboards. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Please, again, do not feel bad about jumping in, asking questions as we are running through. But I will share right now and we will get started. Zoom changed itself on me recently, but here we go. This screen here, you might be looking at it and saying, okay, this is what it looks like right now. Yes, this is what we are currently seeing when you log into the web version of the Map My Customers application. This is the page where there were kind of limited filters. You weren't able to change or move or rearrange what was going on this page. Some teams who said, don't use deals said, get this one off of my screen. Some people who loved certain charts wanted to pull them higher to the top. So we have now implemented will be implementing the new dashboards. Again, you will not be able to do this, but that are going to allow and bring a little bit more value to this page. Currently, I am logged in as an individual team member. And again, we will look at this from the administrative view, but you will notice overall, there is kind of a big change to what it's going to look like when you log into the web application. All the other navigation is going to remain unchanged. You'll be able to get to this page by clicking on your logo. But the first thing you'll notice is the stack rank has been brought to the front of the screen. We're going to dive into the stack rank a little bit more from an administrative perspective, but here you'll see I'm logged in as team member Liana Benson, and I'm quickly able to see charts, graphs, this stack rank right in front of me that are even filterable and customizable right from this home screen. We are going to show if you are on multiple teams, you'll be able to see the stack rank really just front and center, as opposed to having to click through into your reports, into the stack rank to find it a little bit more tucked away. All the functionality that you're used to seeing on the stack rank is going to persist here, like the ability to change your metric. And we've even added new metrics that people have been asking for, like the verified check-ins, and being able to quickly sift through and change your filters here. From a team member perspective, the order and layout of my charts and graphs is going to be determined by my team manager. But as a team manager or a team administrator, you'll be able to customize all these charts and graphs, reorganize them, drag, drop them, set goals, and we will look at all of that from an administrative perspective. But as a team member, this is going to be your new login view when you log into the Map My Customers web application. You'll also see up here, there is a timeline view. We're going to dive into that further from the administrative perspective as well. But any questions so far, again, keep dropping them into the chat as we go. We're going to dive into this a lot further from an administrative perspective. But this is what I will see as a team member. I can click into myself on the West team or on the East team. I can view these charts, graphs, kind of look at the lines and interact with things, even clicking on records from here to open up the full record view of this bacon grease deal and seeing it open up in my side panel, or looking at my timeline of interactions that I've done, like logging a check-in or meetings and notes that I've documented yesterday. Again, we'll dive into this more as an admin, but from a team member perspective, you will have that same view that we are going to look at and configure from an administrative perspective. I'm going to log out here and I'm going to get us logged in as an admin. And again, our usual dashboard here, which will get replaced by our new experience. You'll see here as an administrator, I'm going to have a very similar view to what your team members are seeing. This is where, as an admin, you are going to be able to customize, recreate, drag and drop the experience that you are seeing here. We're going to break it down. We're going to start with the stack rank, what is new there, how to interact with it in this new experience. We'll talk about the dashboard view, and then we'll spend some time on the timeline view. Looking at the stack rank, again, just kind of highlighting here, the stack rank. Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah, don't want to interrupt. I think you're on the production environment, not the staging environment. You're on app 2.
Apologies about that. Yeah. Try to log back in here. Thank you, Rachel. Things probably would have acted very funky in there. All right, for the rest of us with a less sharp eye than Rachel, it probably doesn't look much different, but probably would not have been as friendly to me. So starting here on the stack rank on the left-hand side, again, we heard the feedback of the value, how much people were using this functionality. If you are not, what the stack rank is allowing you to look at different metrics ranked out by your different teams or your different users to see how they're stacking up against each other. It is essentially a leaderboard to say, okay, over this current week, or looking at last week, last month, last quarter, whatever time frame is relevant to me. My team has done 351 check-ins, and Terry Smith, my team member, is right at the top of the ranks there. He has done 87 check-ins in the last week period. As an admin, I'm able to see how are my teams stacking against each other? How is West doing versus East versus Central? And again, those individual user breakdowns. I can change the dates. I can change the metrics. I can say I'm really curious about who's adding companies or who is doing those verified check-ins, and clicking through the different metrics is automatically going to reflect within the stack rank itself. Just like before, you are able to see all of the different columns and all of the different metrics lined out against one another in the full screen mode to be able to see check-ins versus activities done versus deal information or any routes companies added or that new verified check-in column. Just like you might interact with your exports or your list view, you've got your column selector here as well. So if deals are not relevant to you, you can remove them from the view and focus in on the columns that you would like to look at for your team members. You can also filter this full view down to focus specifically on the West team, the East team, or really any filters down that you would like to see here. You'll see those aggregations down at the bottom and see the different metrics compared against one another. You can also download this table view of your stack rank just as you can before in the other stack rank view. So again, this is bringing something that was very popular and heavily used to the forefront instead of nesting it further into this reports section and making you have to click all the way through to find this information. Question from John Gordon. Can you hide someone from your team if you do not want to see them? Rachel, I don't believe that functionality is in this initial stages, correct?
It's not in the initial version, no. But toward the end of the conversation, John, I'd love to hear your use case around that. We can table that for the end of the webinar.
Awesome. And then another question, Rachel, maybe for yourself. If routes are deleted once used, do they still populate in the stack rank?
That's a good question, Shelby. I don't know the exact answer to that. So I will get in touch with our engineering team and get back to you on that one.
Super quick questions, though. Other things in the stack rank here that are new for any of our teams that have an integration. I know oftentimes we have had some numbers that seemed exponentially high based on the fact that things were pumping in from CRM. Well, now I'm able to filter this down and say, just show me things that were created through Map My Customers web, Map My Customers mobile. I just want to see things that have been created in the Map My Customer system, as opposed to tasks or emails or other metrics that might be kind of inflated due to the integration happening. In addition to that filter, you have your filter that we've always had there as well. The activity types, just show me my visits, show me how people are doing with meetings, demonstrations, or any other specific activity types that your organization might focus into. Any other questions on the stack rank before we move into looking at the dashboard view? Awesome. We will use the stack rank to focus down our dashboards as well. So something that has been asked a lot before is, great, there's 87 records or there's 351, but what are those 351 activities or check-ins that have been logged? This is now interactable. I can click on it and you'll see I'm now focused into the West team or even an individual user. And we'll dive into those a little bit further, but we've definitely heard the feedback on making this experience in the stack rank more interactable and being able to dive right into those 60 check-ins that Liana has done. Looking at the dashboard page here now, I'm going to collapse my stack rank, just make this screen a lot larger. This is going to be the equivalent of the experience we had before in that home screen where you had those different line charts, graphs, and a lot of which people were maybe not using too often. The cards here are now customizable. You get to pick and choose what you want here. So if for you, check-ins are the most important and you want that information front and center, well, you can have this line chart here showing check-ins over last week. Sorry about that. Check-ins over last week, the current week, different filters, again, immediately accessible from your homepage. We've also gotten feedback that the verified check-ins have always been a little bit of taking a back seat. They were a little bit difficult to find. Well, now I've got check-ins last week. 305 were verified, 50 were unverified. I'm seeing these differing charts and again, clicking into things that we have wanted to click into before. These check-ins for this week of the June 20th week, I'm able to scroll in and see all of the check-ins, all of the activities that are fitting the criteria of what I have clicked into here. You will see there is a line for my verified check-ins. Again, just bringing some of that information a little bit more to the forefront for us. Coming through here, you'll see different charts and graphs again that you get to choose on companies past due or over frequency, your people over frequency, whether you like a number block or if you prefer to visualize in a map or a list view, you can tell the system, drag, rearrange, and say what is most important to me to have right at the top, front and center. You are not using the frequencies, but you would like to see some things that are over contact, or you like to see what types of records are being added to the system. You are able to choose and create and customize the charts and graphs that are most important to you. With these, you are also able to add or again, drag and drop. And as you see, as an admin, I can easily rearrange this. When you are rearranging as a team manager, those views will then reflect down to your team. So you're able to build and create the configuration that is going to be most beneficial or what you want your team to be focused in on. You will see as an administrator the records and the information for the whole team. When I focus into a specific team, like the West team, I will now be looking at the metrics for this team as a whole. Or again, if I click into an individual user, it will be for that user. Earlier, when I was logged in as Leona, I was only seeing the relevant information for that particular user. I think we've got something in the Q&A. Great question, David. Verified is the element of a check-in when you do a check-in and are within the range of that record. The range is set team by team. So it just indicates that you have logged your check-ins while you are out in the field and near the account that is that you are checking into. Looking into the West team here, we'll dive a little bit further into some of the charts and even add in a new one here. So coming into the add button on the right side of my screen, I can elect to come in and add in a new chart. Here I'll see the different charts I have available, maybe a activity tracker, a overdue activity monitor, check-in trackers, or other types of charts that I can elect to pick in. Currently, we've got a finite group of these charts that we want to kind of share with everyone, but as new ideas, if there's other charts and graphs, definitely let us know. That's super helpful for us to kind of keep driving in the right direction. I'm going to go in and I am going to do a check-in tracker. Here it's going to show me a quick little preview of what's going on in that check-in tracker. And if I go to the next step, I'm going to start to fill out and add information about this particular chart. For example, if when I'm looking at this chart, I really only want to focus into specific activities. Maybe this is a check-in chart, but for me, it's specifically a chart that is focusing in on the meetings that my team has done. You'll notice as I add filters, it's automatically applying onto the preview. So as I am building my charts, it's instantly reflected and I can see what is happening from this chart here. I could also add a rule for source. So again, for any of our integration teams that kind of want to pull out information that might be coming over from your integration, this might be helpful. Or if you want to see where are people logging information? Is my team using web? Should they be using mobile? You can create those criteria using the source. You have the option to include or not include unverified check-ins, which will then update my numbers here. So this is only my verified check-ins, but turning on this toggle will allow me to get that little pie chart and will turn on seeing the unverified check-ins as well. You can set that default time range, the week, the month, the quarter. You again can always update this and change this to reflect what you need maybe in that particular time period that you're looking at. You will see if you want the chart line or just the number block itself. and even can set goals on this. If you have a goal for your team to do 300 check-ins a week, well, I can come in and set a goal for myself. With the goals, I can set them at the full team level or even get granular down to the point of setting different goals for different team members. You'll see as I add in that goal amount, I have done 253 check ins out of 300. We will see where my trend line lies when I hover over that goal. And again, I can come down here and even specify that different team members versus managers are going to have different goals, or even setting individual goals by user. When I click into the user themselves, I'll be able to go in and specify what that user's goal might be. Not all territories are built the same. You might have somebody that has 20, 40 miles between each account, and they are simply not going to do the same number of activities or check-ins as your user that's in the metropolitan area. So this allows you to wait and determine what is the goal per user, or if each goal is the same for everyone, well, then I do not need to set these rules. I am not set in stone with what I create here, so I can add different goals, change them after the fact, and change any of the information that I have put into here. But once I hit that add chart option, my new chart is going to appear down at the bottom. And again, dragging and moving will allow me to move it within the space itself. I think there is something else in the Q&A. Okay, Ken had the same question. Let me know if that is not clear though on that verified versus not verified, but that is again, when you are logging your check-ins in the field, if you are near to the account that you are checking into. Any questions, thoughts here, or Rachel, anything to add from your perspective?
Oh, we just had a question from Gerald. How do we establish range for verified check-in? That could be handy to just quickly go into settings, Kim, if you want to share that particular setting.
Yes. And so this is set at the administrative level. So if you are in a managerial or team member role, you can definitely ask your manager what rule is set here. For us here, we've got 200 meters. The default is 100 meters. And then Rachel, maybe a more question for you. Is there a max to the number of charts?
No, there is not a maximum number of charts. So you can add as many charts as you'd like. Now there are a set number of chart types, but you might want to reuse the same type of chart for different cases and different filters. So there's no maximum, and we're only hoping to increase the number of chart options over time here based on the feedback that you all provide to us.
And so you will notice here, I made another check-in chart, but mine was specifically around meetings. So if you would like to add different filters, even if there is a chart that exists, maybe I line these up at the top together and can compare the two. And again, can just kind of drag and drop. And this will then reflect onward for my team members that we will focus in on in just a minute. Any other questions though on this particular page? Question in the Q&A, do we have access to any future meetings that the team might have? I don't believe, Rachel, is there any charts focused around upcoming activities?
No, so there's not currently a chart for upcoming activities. These are all like past reports, but that's a very interesting request. I think we could do something similar with like a list view of upcoming activity. As of now, you can access that information best from the planner list view and filter by upcoming.
Don't judge our test account. Coming into the
No one's
planner list view, you can see anything upcoming, or if you prefer to view it in that calendar view and see what someone might have planned ahead as well.
I also see Ray had a great suggestion here for customizing the title of the report. I can totally see how that's useful, especially when you add those filters on to distinguish between those. So we've heard that already and working toward more customizations in that area. So great suggestion, Ray.
Yeah, really honest. But as I made that same chart, I was thinking the same thing. So awesome. Really good questions, really good thoughts. So thank you guys. Keep them coming. I'm going to stay on the dashboard for just a moment and focus specifically into my Liana Benson user, where again, I will see my charts created for Liana. I will see the information relevant to her. My spacing looks a little funky, and maybe that is my zoom level. But you will be able to see those charts that were specific to Liana. So looking here, I can see the check-in values. I can see new companies that she is creating. And then focusing in, I can just click through my different users to get a breakdown of them from the dashboard perspective. But also, if I'd like to focus in on Liana and look at her information in a timeline perspective, I can also see what is coming in here. Looking in here, I can see that Liana has logged a verified check-in at 12:02. So it is live, it is updating, it is coming in as the team is adding it. To get to this view, I just toggled from dashboard over to timeline on a particular user, but I can do that exact same experience from clicking into the West team and seeing the West team timeline, or again, the organization as a whole, depending on my particular permissions. When I am in, I like that upload, Rachel. When I am in the timeline view, I can see what has been going on from the perspective of check-ins. I can see Liana has just done another check-in here with Molasses Books. Click into Molasses Books. Yes, Liana is Rachel right now. So if you're like, how is this happening? It is just Rachel on her cell phone right now. And you can see how live it's coming into your feed to just see what the team is doing or individual users. I can filter through what I might want to see. So as I scroll, you'll see a completed meeting. I would be able to see new routes created, new deals created. Anytime that Liana has mentioned myself. But I can scroll through, or if I say no, specifically, I'd like to look at Liana's check-ins. Well, using these quick filters at the top, I can focus in there, or can even automatically scroll myself to another date. So what was Liana doing on June 17th? Well, now I can see she checked in at Wendy's and checked in at Valley Hospital Medical Center, and can scroll through particular dates and particular pieces of information that are helpful or relevant for me to look at. This view, again, is accessible from your user, from your team, or from your organization at a whole to really just see a live stream of what is going on with your team at that point. Any questions on the timeline? Yeah. Oh, Chad, you raised your hand. I see. We'll probably unmute people right at the end, but I think we're getting to that point. So if you want to drop it in the chat, feel free to drop it in the chat, or I'll start unmuting people shortly.
The comment from Craig here. Welcome, Craig. So can't find a distance measuring tool within the map. Need to determine how far a prospect is from locations. Yes, we have some capabilities of this with filters that Kim could demo toward the end of the convo here. So if you're going to stay on, if we have extra time there, this is just outside the scope of this feature. I will wait till the end there. But that's a great question, Craig.
And Craig, if you do have any questions you want to bring into the support team, I've just dropped their email in there as well, so they can help with any filtering questions. Today's webinar is really focused on this new dashboard feature, but we can absolutely, with the support team, walk you through any feature functionality questions that you might have. All right, I see we've got some hand raises. So let me look to see if I can allow people to speak. So any other questions in the chat, or Michelle, Rachel, that you want to add before we kind of open it up to questions at the end here? All right, well, let me Scott, go right ahead.
Yeah, I didn't mean to raise my hand, but my question would be, can we reverse the order the verified check-ins are in, the way they're listed? It's starting out at like this example shows PM. Can we change that to an AM, like start at 8 o'clock and start reading down? Or does it stay the last call is first, etc.?
Got it. I like that thought. So in the timeline view, you're looking to reverse the order. You're trying to see older stuff towards the top and kind of not work your way backwards, work your way forwards.
Correct.
Got it. Yeah. So, this timeline is goes back forever, basically. So if Kim were to scroll down, the top is the current form. So it's like a live feed and then it goes down from there. Are you just wanting to see that in the context of the current day, Scott?
Yeah, just to, look at the timeline, what time their first check-in go versus, I can scroll down and do it, but I didn't know if we could reverse that order or not.
Yeah. Well, if we reverse the order, you would see the first activity ever for
Correct.
that user, which could be years previous,
okay,
not days previous.
We'll scroll it the way it is. Thank you.
Well, it's a good idea. There's maybe some other settings we could do. I'm definitely noting it down. Just an easier way to see today in a particular order, I think is a great idea. So I will document this.
I can look at that when I got a planner, I can see it. That's what I was just trying to make it look like the daily planner view.
I like it though.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. A couple questions in the chat and another hand raised here. So some customers now have QR codes. Very cool. Didn't know about that. We'll be able to add on the mobile device as a new customer. That functionality does not currently exist. That is helpful feedback to know kind of the new changes that are happening out in the field though. So definitely really good feedback on that, Ken. So we'll definitely notate that down. And then Gary, is there a way to overlap a rep's perspective daily view versus their actual visits to locations? Looking to see if the rep is sticking to their plan or going off the daily plan. I don't know, Rachel, if you have any thoughts on routing, reporting, and anything there, but
I think Gary's in my mind. That's exactly what I'd love to see and that my customers very, at some point. So I think it's a great idea, Gary. That's something that is in the future vision for the product here. I think that would be an amazingly helpful report. Right now, we don't currently have that functionality, but as we seek to improve web routing and route reports generally, that's something we are shooting for. So just noting here that you've asked for it, and we'll definitely keep you specifically in the loop for that.
Awesome. Really good things going on here. All right, Ray, go ahead.
Oh yeah, just had a quick question. I know you were showing us how to kind of build out the dashboard. I just wanted to get some clarity. Is the dashboard that you're building is your view as an administrator, but then it also creates kind of buckets on a team and user level? Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah. So when you see Kim editing at the top level of the Chow company, that is only visible to the admin level. And that is the arrangement of that dashboard is completely separate from the team level dashboards. However, at the team level, so if I make edits to the West team here, all the reps in that team are children to the team level dashboard. So as Kim is making edits here on West team, and now she clicks into a user, that arrangement has been copied over. If she were to log into Riley's account, Riley will not have the ability to arrange her dashboard.
Okay, so we can build 3 levels of reporting. I understand now. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome question. Ken, yes, we are going to send this if you're recording this meeting, yes. We're going to send the recording out. We will probably need to just internally clean some of the things that there's like 5 seconds of me walking into the frame at the beginning. Cut that out. We'll throw it on our YouTube. We will blast it out to anyone who registered for this. So if you have someone on your team who was unable to attend, but they registered, we will send. It's like I went to fill my water. I walked back in the beginning. But we will send it out. It will be on the YouTube. So feel free to blast it out to anyone else who, maybe didn't even register. Awesome. And David, yes, so we'll get you connected probably with someone from, I'll make a note of your name, David, if you're individual. We've got office hours, we've got knowledge-based articles, video, things for new users. If you're new to a client team, they might have some internal processes as well. So I'll make a note there, David, make sure we get you connected with the right people. All right, all right. Other things. Last few things I will highlight here. I will let us go. If you have more questions, drop them in, raise your hand, let me know. But a couple other things, just little things. There is going to be the ability to kind of customize and change things like your themes. So if you want to make this purple or orange or some other color that is happy and fits your brand, you can do so. You can add in your logo, and something that's been troubling for people for a very long time is within your reports, when you see your user and it says Liana's email, not her name. As a administrator, I will be able to change the name. So any of your users who did not fill out your profile, you will be able to help them out. So got that coming as well. But some fun customizations to really make these charts, these dashboards your own, and really make them fit your brand. Gary, that might be a Rachel, Michelle, or I question, but after fact, we can definitely get that with you, Gary. Any other questions, thoughts before I let everyone go for today? All right. Well, thank you guys so much for attending. Really good questions, really good feedback already. Like I said, this is not live, but when it goes live, we will surely ask surveys, want your feedback. So as you get in there, you build it for yourself, you put your own data in there. Please let us know what you want to see, how we can make it a little bit better. But we really are excited to get this in front of you guys. And we'll get this out live for you guys to play around with, build your charts and dash shortly. But thank you guys so much for your time. We will send out the recording, and I'm sure I'll see a lot of you guys and talk to a lot of you soon. Thank you.